Hi muckers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're doing very well. Okay, I am very excited today. I've lost my voice a little bit because I was shouting at the concert in which we are going to be talking about, so please bear with me. However, I just needed to come on here and talk to you about literally the best day of my life. And if you know even the slightest thing about me, you know why this would be the best day ever for me. So basically, I am a huge Bonnie Tyler fan. I think we're all quite aware of this now. My favorite singers ever are Mariah Carey and Bonnie Tyler. They are the number two for me. And of course I love a huge array of artists, but for me personally, they are probably, you know, right there up at the top. And with Mariah, I've loved Mariah since I think 2014, 2015. And Bonnie Tyler, I have been a huge fan since 2018. So again, it has been quite some time, and within that time I have dived into her discography, I've dived into her history, interviews, just an array of content, and there's so much because if you know Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart Bonnie Tyler, Holding Out for a Hero Bonnie Tyler, that is probably the songs you will know if you're not directly a fan, but if you're a fan you'll know there are many, many, many albums, right? So, with Bonnie Tyler, she has been an artist since basically what you'll know as the 80s, but a long time before that as well, and she has had this huge career. She has been performing since I think she was 25, 26, and she is now in her 70s, and one of my favorite things about her, before we get to the story, sorry, is just her work ethic, how much she gives still as a 70-year-old performer, and the fact that she is showing the woman in the industry that you can still be around at this age and you can be killing it and you can be doing sold-out shows and releasing new albums, and I just think she is fabulous. So, I have been a Bonnie Tyler fan for quite some time. I went to Spain 2 months ago to go see her at a show in Marbella. It was phenomenal. I was basically like the third row, so I had really, really, really good seats. I'll quickly show you what it looked like for that, for a little bit of context to kind of show you the difference in the show that I just went to. So again, this show was in Spain and it was a little while ago, and this was kind of my view for the show. So this is a zoomed up video, and again, I just had the best time ever, and I was really close as well. Okay, so that was that show, and now at that show, I had emailed her manager, and also there's a guy called Liam who works on her team, who is actually someone who reached out to me because of my channel, which is really weird how that works out. He knew me from H3 and stuff like that. He's a big H3 fan, and we've just been talking ever since. We've been talking for a good few months now, and we've really been getting on, and we've been talking about Bonnie, and you know, I'm talking with someone on her team, and it's interesting hearing that side of things. And also, he's just a really good guy, really funny and really nice and really easy to talk to. And so I was talking to him for the longest time about like, oh, do you know like when it would be possible to ever reach out to Bonnie for like meeting her, getting a photo with her, maybe an autograph, maybe an interview if they were down for that or something, because she was releasing her album. This was last year. And because of COVID, I was always getting not really responded to from like the management side of things. And whenever I did, it was always very much, you know, we are in a pandemic and Bonnie Tyler is a woman in her 70s. So we need to be careful with that. And I completely understood that. So the Spain show rolled around and there was nothing able to really happen there. However, I did get an email from her team when they found out that I was going to a show in Austria on my birthday, which was a couple days ago. And they basically said, hey, just wanted to carry on from our previous conversation. We know that you're a huge Bonnie fan, and we know that you've been reaching out, you know, all that time ago. And we want to let you know that we think that we're able to get you to meet her at the Austria show. You know, we think we can get you to come back and we'll get a photo opportunity and you can say hello to her. It'll be something that is quite quick because it'll be right before showtime and because of COVID, but we think that this is something that we will be able to do. And I was so over the moon, like you've no idea, like I've never really been offered before to ever meet one of my favorite performers and singers in the entire world. So, sorry if you hear noise by the way, that is my mom in the other room. So, very, very, very excited that I was offered that opportunity. So the day of the show rolls around and I travel to Vienna in Austria, and the show is the most weird thing ever. It is at a festival called like Brunner Weissen, I think it was, and it was everyone dressed up in like lederhosen and a very old style festival. So anyway, this was basically like an Oktoberfest. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a big beer festival, and the people who go are absolutely insane, and it was just so much fun. And we were there like 5 hours before the show because we thought it started at 5 and it didn't. However, we got there was multiple DJs on, there was a performer on, and then anyway, showtime rolls around and I was told to meet her manager at the side of stage at 8:30 p.m. Show started at 9, so I went there. And so her manager comes out. Very nice guy, but very intimidating guy. Like exactly who you would think would be like a manager, like someone who could get shit done and be very stern. But he was very nice to me, so I was very appreciative. So he was like, "You're Adam, yes, come back." So he like walks me backstage, we get through security, and then we're getting walked back here, and it is this like big open space with like black curtains up, and there's a lot of people backstage. Like there's probably like 25 to 30 people. I didn't know if they were fans, I didn't know if they were journalists, I didn't know if they were just press or members of the staff or whatever. However, there was a lot of people there, and I didn't think that I was even gonna get to see her at the stage just because there was so much happening, and he was like, you know, showtime's about to start, like she has to get on stage and whatever. And so I then saw her in this side room meeting like a bunch of people, and then he tells everyone to clear, and she comes out as if she's going to stage, and then he's like, "Bonnie, this is Adam, who I was talking to you about. You know, he's so excited to meet you." And I was like, "Oh, hi Bonnie, like it's so nice to meet you, like thank you so much." And she turns to me and she goes, "Oh, you're the Instagrammer I've been hearing so much about." So I mean, definitely like a generational thing, and I completely get it. And you know what? I'll take getting called an Instagrammer if Bonnie Tyler calls me an Instagrammer. So yeah, she was super nice to me, and so much happened within a short period of time that I'm just gonna like say different things that happened in that moment instead of the order. So I told her I loved the new music. She was super grateful for that. I had this CD here, which is a compilation album which just came out, and I was like, "I have a CD here if you want to sign it, like you don't have to, I'm aware of time." And she was like, "No, of course." So she took it and she was like, "What's your name again?" She was like, "Adam, like it's so nice to meet you." So she wrote on this, she said, "To Adam, well done, Bonnie Tyler," because of all like the social media thing. I don't know what she was told by the manager. However, she was very appreciative of the fact that I talked about her on whatever platform she thought it was. And whenever she said that, I said that, yeah, like my audience, like I've been talking about you to them for so long, and they love you so much, and they're so excited to see this. She was very grateful with that as well. She was kind of briefed that I have like, you know, a younger audience or whatever. And so then I was talking to her and we got the photos, and whenever we went to get the photos, the manager takes my phone and goes to take them, and then he shouts for someone to get like a ring light or something, or a big light. And so he's taking these photos, and then next thing I know it, everyone's like moving around the hall so that someone can bring a ring light and hold it above the phone, and then they're taking more ones. And he took so many photos, like I'll show you right now, like ones of us just like in different ways smiling. I was too nervous to like do anything other than that, and I'm grateful I didn't do anything like different to like make myself look fucking goofy. But like we took photos initially, right, and they looked like this, so they were like darker or whatever, and I would have been so happy with this. But then he shouts for the ring light to come over, and then our photos end up looking like this because they have like studio lighting now at this stage. And so this was the photo again before I talk a little bit more. And whenever I tell you that she was the nicest, most humble person I've ever like had the pleasure to meet, it was so beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And I was so aware, she was so aware, the manager was so aware that they were so pushed for time. Like she was literally going on stage in 2-3 minutes, and she still took that time. And so she also turns to me and she like goes like this, and she's like, "Doesn't he just look like," and said some name and was like, "Oh, like this is my nephew, you have the same eyes as him, you look exactly like him." And the manager agreed. And then we were talking, and whenever she was signing the CD, I was like, "Oh, and this." I completely forgot that I have a Bonnie Tyler tattoo that I was going there to show her. And I went, "Oh, and this." And so she takes it, and I went, "It's still healing." And she literally went like this and like looked up close to it, and she went like this, "Naughty boy, no, no, no," and then put it down again. So I did get to show her the tattoo as well, which is probably surreal to her. And also, I didn't think about the fact that I was basically the equivalent of this, is my nana and granda are very against tattoos. That is like me getting a tattoo of my nana's face and showing my nana and expecting her to be like over the moon about it. Like, she was so impressed with how the tattoo looked, but she still was like, ah, naughty boy, no, 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 about getting tattoos. Meanwhile, my arms are like covered. So I got to show her it, which was great. And again, it was just a nice casual conversation. Whenever I went in, I was a bit shaky. She like took my hand and she was like, calm. And whenever I went in immediately as well, she went to hug me. However, the same thing happened whenever I met Emma in Paris not that long ago. Emma went in to hug me, and I, in that situation, don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. Just like, you know, not everyone wants to hug someone. Like, maybe they don't want to, you know, hug you and they just feel forced to. But also, COVID times, Bonnie and I, we're not wearing a mask. We didn't have to. I had to prove my vaccination and my COVID test status to them. She had to do the same to the management to get into the venue or whatever. But we still weren't wearing masks, and I'm very cautious of her age. So she like went to like give me a hug or whatever like that, but not in an awkward way, because it sounds very awkward whenever I say this. I instead put my hand out and we shook hands instead, and she was grateful for that as well, because she was meeting like a bunch of people and I could tell that, you know, everyone was getting hugs and stuff like that. And I was just like, this woman is in her 70s, is looking fabulous and is fabulous regardless, but she doesn't need to be hugging everyone. Like, so I was like, all right, I'll just shake your hand and you can hand sanitize after. So I did that and she was appreciative of that, which was really nice. So it went like that. And then whenever we went to get the photos, she said something like, oh, the lights need to go down or whatever. And I went, when the lights go down, because that's a song on her new album. And she turned to me and she went, you really do know the new music. Thank you so much. So I was like appreciative that I was getting a thank you for knowing the new music, which is like, should be a standard. But I guess a lot of people who go to the shows are there for, you know, the hit songs. But I mean, I love the new music. And so then it went like that, and I was actually the one, I went to her and I went, thank you so much for taking the time to say hello to me. Everyone is gonna love these pictures. And I went to walk away. I said, have a good show. And the manager turned around to me and he was like, I'm so sorry that was so short, but thank you so much, you know, for coming. And I went, no, thank you so much for even allowing me to do this. And I went to walk away. And the reason I did that was because I didn't want to take up too much time. And also, I wanted them to know that I was being respectful of the fact that I was even allowed to meet her. They didn't have to allow me to meet her. So I thought if I was the one to like walk away, it would kind of be like, oh, he was appreciative of the time. And I did find out later through talking that that was appreciated, which was nice. So yeah, I walked back to the stage. I got front row. It was all like seating. But I like went up to the barrier. And throughout the show, first of all, I'm going to show you what my view looked like, because it was insane. So much better than what the first show. So, I mean, so keep in mind, directly in front of me, which will make sense for what I'm about to tell you, right? Like, look at this. So that was it, not zoomed in. Just like right in front of me, and she sounded amazing. So anyway, throughout the show, she would keep coming to like that right in front of me, and would like point at me and I would point back to her, and we would sing and bounce off of each other, and I knew all the words. And her guitarist, Ed, pointed at me immediately as they started playing one of the first songs and went like this, like where the tattoo was. And now that'll make sense. And so anyway, I pointed like that to him and he went like that, and he was singing to us throughout the show, like bouncing things back. But yeah, she was literally coming back and we would like do that, like singing to each other, and my mom was by my side, so she got to see it as well, and everyone around us was confused as to like why she knew me, which was really cool. But when we were flying to Austria, which will make sense about the guitar, we were flying from London to there, and we're sitting in Starbucks at like 5 a.m. and I'm older Mom, I'm like, Mom, I know him, like that's Bonnie Tyler's, you know, guitarist. And we were going back and forth, and I was Googling him, because I was like, if I go up to this random stranger who might not even speak English, if they're flying to Vienna, and I'm like, are you Bonnie Tyler's guitarist? And they're like, who the fuck, like, so anyway, I looked up and I was confident that it was him. So I went up to him and was like, are you Ed? And he went, yeah, nice to meet you, or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, you're going for the Bonnie Tyler concert, are you? You're in the band. I'm literally traveling there for that. And so we had like a brief conversation, and I showed him the tattoo. And so, oh my god, and then if things couldn't get, he was really nice to us, right? However, I did feel a little bit stalkerish whenever I realized that I went up and said hello to him, showed a tattoo of Bonnie Tyler, said I was traveling for the show, then realized he's on the same flight as me. So we get to the gate and the rest of the band are there. They're all flying for the show. So then I'm like, right, I'm gonna keep my head down, you know, be respectful, like y'all are over there, whatever. I text my friend Asia and I'm like, oh my god, the band were so nice to me, but I really hope we're sitting away from each other on the plane because I do not want to look like a fucking stalker, especially because I said to him that I was talking with her manager and that I'm coming backstage on the show day. So you can imagine he's probably like, who is this crazy bitch? So we get on the plane and we walk down and my mum turns in to go to the aisle. Who's in, like, this sounds like I'm lying. Who's directly in front of us? Ed's in front of me and the other guy's in front of my mum. Like, I mean, row, the entire flight. And I was listening to Bonnie Tyler the entire time. The music that they were playing on. It was, someone was trying to set me up for sure that day. But they were so nice either way. And it was wild that we were on the same flight. So that was flying out the day before. But I just had the most amazing time. It didn't feel like my birthday at all. However, it was like the best day ever. So retrospectively, the best birthday ever. The concert was amazing. She sounded great, played great songs. I can't believe I now have a signed CD. I have an amazing photo and just a great experience. And the team were so nice. And regardless of anything, I'm so grateful they allowed me to do that. Especially on the basis of that I have a YouTube channel. So thank you for that as well, because that's completely the reason that I was even invited there. But just the fact as well that the manager was so like stern with everyone and then was so nice to me. It was so night and day and I was so grateful for it. I was like, I've never experienced this before. So again, that is literally because of you, because of the channel. So I just wanted to come on here and give you an update and like talk about it. I had posted pictures online about it and yeah, I was seeing a lot of responses being like, I'm gonna go listen to Bonnie Tyler now, and I'm like, the plan's working. So yeah, I just want to come on here, update you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one, and bye.